Let's start this one off with some excitement. We will show you all the hustle plays as we dive into the very best stuff. So celebrate with us as we bring you the shots from the outside, the wins, and the fans storming the court. Sports Night is next.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro, and we got a big show tonight. Got a lot to bring you.
We do. The number of teams still active is shrinking a little bit, but our coverage certainly is not. We do have a lot to talk about, and it's tournament time almost around the horn.
Without a question, and before we know it, it will be here.
The final tournaments will be just over the horizon at this point. We'll start with the boys hockey team. They will get into the playoffs this week. They wrapped up the regular season schedule with a pair of games last week. Both ended up going to overtime in order to decide. On Tuesday, the Cardinals traveled to Andover. Cardinals were coming off a pair of losses, but felt good about their chances in the final two games of the year. Huskies were a little below 500 and last in their division with just one win. But there's no way they were going to roll over in their final home game of the season. Little love between these two teams, even on Valentine's Day. Cardinals start the score just 2 minutes in. Isaac Ruff, great look to Robert Morissette at the back door. He slams it home, and Coon Rapids is on the board. Huskies even the score on the power play. Great stick work by Charlie Schoen. Walks right out front and scores. It's tied at 1 after 1. Cardinals fly right back in front in the opening draw of the second. Travis Hess on the move, snipes the backward-handed goalie high on the glove side to put the visitors up 2-1. Andover answers again and again. Sweet hands by Schoen. Schoen the toe drag not once but twice before dishing to Nick Daney for the finish. Huskies pull even again. Schoen gets his third point by springing Brandon McNamara on the breakaway. Great finish in close, able to slide it under Hansen as he's hitting the ice. Refs discuss. Good goal. Andover leads 3-2 after 2. Lead holds until under 6 minutes remain. Cardinals on the power play. Crotty to Isaac Ruff, the one-timer. Goalie got a piece, but not enough. It's a tie game after regulation. Goes to the final 90 seconds of overtime. Able to spring it free up the wing, and it's Charlie Schoen again. Nice little move to drop Hansen. It goes up over his shoulder for the game winner. And Andover in dramatic fashion, 4-3 over the Cardinals.
Well, definitely a tough way to lose a game, no question about it. Well, the Cardinals wrapped up their schedule on Thursday when the Anoka Tornadoes paid a visit to the Crick. It was a big night for the program's 11 seniors playing on home ice one last time, and their mothers put out a pregame performance that put a smile on everybody's face to start the game. It was a contest between two very similar teams battling for seating position in the middle of the Section 5 AA bracket. It was a great game start to finish and didn't end until the extra period. Coon Rapids opens the scoring in the first. Isaac Ruff forces the turnover at the blue line, goes in on the breakaway, beating the keeper to the backhand, exactly how the Cardinals wanted to start. Nice job there. Anoka evens it up with just under 5 minutes left in the first. Shot from the point is blocked, but it goes right to Riley Matichuk. He puts it past Hansen. His first goal of the season knots the game at 1. Also gives the Tornadoes a momentum. They get the power play late in the period. Jack Giddings walking off the wall, sneaks a wrist shot pass between the pad and glove on Hansen. Anoka 2-1 lead going to the locker room. Doesn't take long for the Cardinals in the second. Bad clear is held. Shot is blocked. Ruff tees off on the deflection. You saw second of the game. This was less than 2 minutes into the second. Both teams getting chances through the remainder of regulation, but the keepers up to the task. Good flurry by the Cardinals here in the third, but Kyle Gushak shuts them down. I should have practiced that one. Similar story in the other end. Several good chances in close for Anoka. Ty Hansen able to stay strong and flexible. Keep this one out of the net. Goes to the overtime. Tornadoes end-to-end quickly. Dump and chase. Hunter Warnius flips it out to Matichuk. Puts it home. Second of the night and the season. It's an overtime game win, and the Cardinals fell again in the extra period.
I spelled it for you phonetically.
You did, but it's the first time I read that because I read the wrong script, and obviously, so sorry about that, everybody. But you know, you wouldn't expect anything.
Say it with me.
Geschlecht. I should have known that. I was just there. I know, right? I know.
But a tough couple of games for the Cardinals to lose. They could have been the number 4 seed in the tournament had they won that game over Anoka possibly, but instead they dropped to number 6. They will play Blaine, who has definitely had their number, but Bengals have been an up-and-down team. Although they beat the Cardinals 7-2, they lost to both Anoka and Andover, I believe, who the Cardinals just went to overtime to lose with against both of those two teams. So
an opportunity.
And really, Centennial, the number 1 seed, should give them props. Maple Grove, the number 2. But Anoka and Champ will bark in that 4-5. That's kind of where the Cardinals saw themselves. But this may be a blessing that if they do start getting hot, maybe they don't have to deal with the number 1 seed until they get to a championship round.
Let's hope that happens.
But at this point, look at a team like the Cardinals. Their record well below 500, but losing end of a lot of very close games. They have played some of the better teams better, and they could be the kind of team that could be a dark horse in a tournament bracket.
The fact that they have played those close games and they had to go to some overtime contests will help them in the section playoffs, hopefully. Geschlecht. Well, the Cardinals wrestling team went into last week's Section 7 3A team championships as the 5th seed facing number 4 Cambridge Isani. Blue Jackets dominated the Cardinals in their one meeting this season, cruising to a decisive 56-10 win. Cardinals were massive underdogs in the quarterfinal, but they were determined to at least have a better showing than last time around. Cambridge Isani won the first 3 matches and led 11-0 before Moses Medimba gets the Cardinals' first victory. Great trip for the takedown on Casey Schlickenmeyer. Medimba battles his way to a 12-8 decision. The rest of the Cardinals' victories come with pins. Jack Scheck locked up with Cambridge's Austin Cantrell at 182. Leaves his leverage to get him down, go chest to chest to get the pin in just 53 seconds. Victory already well in hand for the Blue Jackets at this point, but Lucas Partlow put the headlock on, rode it to the ground at 220, turns to his back, gets the pin, and gets the Cardinals another victory. Coon Rapids captain Tim Mandyke, one of the state's best heavyweights, and should have a good chance at individual sections this week. He pinned his man against Cambridge Isani early in the second period, but the Cardinals lose 45-21. They finished the season as a team with a very respectable 18-7 dual meet record, which is what they were looking for, an improvement over last season. Yeah, an improvement over the last time that they wrestled Cambridge. I think they only had 10 points.
Correct.
And so able to get a few more, but didn't get the win, unfortunately.
Well, and going into individuals, you have Mandyke, who has the best chance, obviously, but a number of other guys that could sneak their way through the sections, but a very tough section.
No question.
As always, individual state tournament coming up at Blaine Friday and Saturday of this week. State tournament would be at the XL Energy Center Thursday through Saturday of next week. Gymnastics team wrapped up its season at section. The Cardinals finished in 8th place at the Section 7 AA championship meet. 122.5 points, a respectable finish. Cassie Rushmeyer, their top finisher on vault at 22nd. Savannah Westberg was 26th on the vault. This is her first time ever competing for the varsity and was second on the team on the vault. Kalia Jones, who finished first on the team on beam, just a freshman, took 31st place. Cassie Rushmeyer led the team on floor with Aaliyah Vu behind her in 29th. Rushmeyer 19th overall all around, and Aaliyah Vu 24th in the all around. No one would advance to this week's state championships. Nordic ski team had put one Cardinal into the state championship meet in Bowabic last week. Ricky Petroff, just an 8th grader, and he did well. He finished 111th in the freestyle, and then with a time of 17:40 in the classic, that gave him a pursuit finish of 129th place, but 4 more years of eligibility at the varsity level for young Mr. Petroff, and we definitely wish him well. And
without a doubt,
happen to know him, I know we'll be saying, should this show be here in 4 years, we will be saying his name in other sports as well.
Where are we
going? Swimming and diving team will finally get back to action this week. Their section tournament Friday and Saturday over at Northdale Middle School pool. State tournament is next Thursday through Saturday at the University of Minnesota. Round ball still has some schedule to play out.
Let's talk about them. Well, the boys basketball team is trying to get things turned around and back in the right direction. They had a tough couple of weeks since their terrific start. The Cardinals entered last week's play having lost 2 in a row and 5 of their previous 6. Their game in Andover last night gave them a shot against a team with similar struggles. The Huskies had lost 10 of their last 11, so both teams were hungry for a big win. We pick up the action early in the second half. Strong move to the basket by Lionel Warner. Ties the game at 30. Warner had 18 against the Huskies. Great night for Tyrion Johnson. Good movement to free him up underneath. He had a double-double, team-high 21 points and 10 boards. But this night was really all about one player having a game that he will never forget. Andover's Logan Riedzick was unconscious. His three puts Andover up 9. He had 28, and it wasn't close to finished. You can't leave a guy alone like that in the corner. His three gave Riedzick 1,000th career point. Cardinals on the run, great block against the basket. Riedzick again stops and pops, as you saw, another free three-pointer. Huskies by 10. Riedzick feeling it from all over the floor. This time he's coming up, he drives the basket, the foul. Riedzick finished with 43 points. He's going to lead the Huskies to the 73-58 win. And boy, he is a very good basketball player. A ton of points.
Yeah, and as you will talk about in just a couple of minutes, they had a young lady had a big night on Friday or on Tuesday against the Cardinals as well. Well, on Friday night, the Cardinals hosting the Blaine Bengals, a team that is struggling but still holding position in the middle of the division. Blaine had lost 3 of its previous 4, but earlier in the season had a spurt there where they won 8 of 9. That included a 7-point win over the Cardinals at their place. Coon Rapids felt that was a game that they let get away from them. And now that they had the home court, they were out for some revenge. Cardinals get the start they wanted, and all night getting production from the perimeter. Marcel Winston's three-pointer helped the Cardinals score the game's first 7 points. Scoring leaders going in spurts for Coon Rapids in this one. Tyrion Johnson had the middle part of the first half, scored 8 straight Cardinals points on his way to 16 for the game. Sam Carver equaled that effort, scoring 16 of his own, including the Cardinals' last 11 points of the first half. They went to the locker room up 8. Bengals bounce back. Curtis Wigan going, and he leads them on a 10-0 run. Gives them the lead with 8 minutes into the second half. Then it's Lionel Warner's turn to take the reins for the Cardinal offense. Warner held to just 2 points in the first half, explodes down the stretch, including three straight three-pointers. Put the Cardinals in the lead for good. Sam Carver hits his second three-pointer of the game to get the lead to 5, and the Cardinals able to hit their free throws down the stretch and seal the win. It's a 16-point win, but this one was a lot closer than that. It was just the Cardinals defensively played strong, did not foul down the stretch, and they hit everything from the free throw line.
They really did. It's really nice to see 3 players in double figures.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, Lionel Warner obviously has a scorer's mentality, as you talked about, held to 2. But you know what? Didn't let him get him down. He got his head in the game and scored 16 in that second half, really leading the way for him.
Yeah, it was fun to be there and be a part of that 10th win of the season for the Cardinals. Hoping to make some more things happen this week. They host Maple Grove on Tuesday and then are at Irondale on Friday.
Well, the girls basketball team finishes the regular season schedule this week, traveling to Maple Grove on Tuesday and finishing at home against Irondale on Friday. The Cardinals entered last week's play after a much-needed win over Osseo, but the competition got a little tougher on Tuesday when the Andover Huskies came to the Fieldhouse. Andover had won 2 in a row and had beaten the Cardinals by nearly 30 points when they met for the first time. Cardinals trying to keep pace in the early going, exploiting their advantage with Ellie Carver in the middle. When you get her in close, she's not going to miss from there. Carver was key in keeping the Cardinals in this one early. They find her again on the other side, and Coon Rapids is keeping close for a while. That is until Andover's Jolene Daniger gets hot. The Huskies' leading scorer averages just over 20 points a game, and Daniger does most of her damage from beyond the arc. She started out 5 of 6 from beyond the arc and had 10 three-pointers on her way to a season-best 39 points in the game. Huskies able to pull away and leave the Cardinals behind. 65-50 the final. And again, when you face Joe, and when they face a tough shooter like that, it's really difficult.
Well, and they extended the defense. You could see in that last clip, they extend the defense. She just backs up, hits from 21 instead. And when a player gets hot, and as a player of that caliber, hard to stop regardless how well you defend. But
exactly.
Cardinals certainly did not want that one to go the way that it did. The Cardinals traveled to Blaine on Friday, hoping they could repeat their effort from earlier this season and complete the series sweep. Coon Rapids has had a rough go of it since that 14-point win back on January the 12th. They've won just 2 of their 9 games. Blaine hadn't fared much better, however. Going into Friday's game, they had won just 1 game of their last 14. That stretch going back before the holiday break. One of these teams is going to get a much-needed win. Coon Rapids gets exactly the start they wanted. Courtney Ackerman driving, Kicks to Kennedy Kerr with the open look. Nails the three. Cardinals up 3-0. Same play, different shooter, same result. Courtney to Caitlin Hagstrom for three. That one tied the game at 10. But the home team able to gain the momentum for the majority of the first half. They exploit the mismatch underneath on this play. Teresa Grayson Bonifol led all scorers. Finishes that one in close. Bengals in transition. Natalie Taylor steps back, spots up. Playing close and strong, goes to break up by 10. Cardinals trying to climb back into this one in the second, but at best just able to trade baskets with the Bengals. Great second effort for Caitlin Ackerman. She led the Cardinals with 11 points. But the Bengals, just too much for them in this one. 8 different Blaine players able to get on the score sheet. Tiffany Johnson driving the lane right there. Put Blaine up by 14. They went on to the 57-38 win.
Yeah, again, it's a tough one. I had a chance to talk to Coach Peterson today because we'll be doing a game tomorrow night at Maple Grove. And she said they had some chances, but they let some things get away from them. Blaine pulled up, and they started to increase that lead, and they just couldn't cut into it.
Well, in going from a 14-point victory earlier in the season to now a 19-point loss, as you're looking at the last couple of games in the regular season and then tournament, definitely cause for concern. We'll get a look at the girls basketball team on Tuesday when they're at Maple Grove, and then they will be at Irondale on Friday. And there is a look at where we will be the rest of the week. We will be at boys hockey playoffs that will premiere here at midnight on Thursday. Number 6 seed Coon Rapids taking on number 3 Blaine. Bengals a 7-2 winner over the Cardinals just a couple of weeks ago. And then it's time for girls basketball playoffs coming up next week.
Yeah, definitely don't sell TBA short. They can be tough.
TBA? TBA is
they're at TBA, yeah.
They're almost always a tough opponent. But that's going to do it for this edition of Sports Night. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us, continue to support everything we do here at Sports Night. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young, saying good night.